Hello, Lego lovers. This is Elle, and this is a Lego Dreamzzz set review. This is the Pegasus Flying Horse, set number 71457. Has about 482 pieces and runs for around $50 in the US. But is it worth it? Well, let's get into it. First off, you can see we have a gigantic horse. We're going to go and do the horse and the side builds here first, and then we're going to take a look at some of these awesome characters. So, smallest side build here, which already is falling apart. It is a bit of a fragile one because it uses your clip connections. We'll get this character out, but you can see it's basically a monster prison. And the teeth parts keep coming off, unfortunately. But you can kind of see the gist. This is a printed part, which is nice. We got these new transparent pink wings, which are wonderful. Just kind of sets. Nothing too special. Lots of bar parts and connections here you can see. But kind of a silly looking cage monster, but still kind of neat. And then we have our hero side build. So I don't think this bird has a name. I did watch the show. I love the colors of this. It's very colorful. I don't know exactly what kind of animal it is, but I'm assuming a bird. But we got these new, I believe they're like Diddy Kong tails, but it's just a nice different kind of flourish, definitely organic, which is a really cool look to it. And basically it's used here to represent kind of like the tail or twin tails. The other nice parts we have here are these new palm leaves. Now this is basically a 1x2 rounded plate in there, and they're basically using this as kind of giant feathers along with the 3 little leaves there too. These are attached by the hinge that locks, and this is just kind of the regular hinge, but stickers there, not too bad though. Just kind of a cool little bird side build. Can't complain about it. Love the parts on this one, love the colors. And stickers, they're not too bad. They're pretty simple, and you got an area where you can put your main character to sit there. But of course we're here for this build. This is our Nightmare Pegasus, we'll call it. I believe, so one of the cool things, and I probably should have started with that, is the instruction booklets actually have art on them, and they actually turn into basically a little comic book. See if I can't find a page. So we basically have this character seeing this majestic Pegasus in the back there. And then as you build it, you'll get different pictures. I don't want to ruin it for people who check this out, but basically you get some different art, and it's kind of like reading a comic book as you build. This one also has 2 different builds. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of the 2 different builds. The bird one's the best. I believe the other one, if I can open to the page here, is basically like a butterfly jump pack, which is alright, I guess, but it just, I don't know. It's just not as cool as the bird, basically. But let's go and look at this big horse first. So, first of all, this is like a creature in of itself. You can see the eye there. Kind of have these little like claws or tentacles, and these big beautiful black and magenta wings. And it's also like a throne for a character, or I guess you could lay the tail out and it's a bed, or it's just a tail. This actually looks kind of creepy scary just alone. And maybe it's like a parasite that lanches on the Pegasus and turns it evil. But of course you can sit a character up there if you want, and then it just simply attaches on here with 2 studs, and you just kind of turn those around. You have basically a Pegasus. Again, that eye is a print, which is a nice addition, and lovely wings. I can't get enough of the coloring. And here is our horse. So they use a lot of like smooth parts to get the effect there. You see they use these in magenta for kind of like the mane or hair. We got a nice little horn build. Love the head build. That is a printed 1x1 white brick in there. Just a really nice head build. A lot of cool build techniques to get that angling there. on a ball joint, but not tons of movement, but kind of enough for an organic horse, which is kind of nice that you actually can't really move it in a way that would be unnatural. The neck is kind of just really long, makes it a little bit weird. Once you have the back part on, it's a little better. You do have joints here, but to be honest, they're not that useful because, as you can see, like the legs only move a certain way, which is kind of nice, but still not super useful. These are stickers down here. Kind of really like the build for like the hoof part. Of course, wild colors because this is Dreamzzz. And we have more sticker detailing on the back. Lovely parts. We got these new noodle tube parts. This is actually a metallic color. Not sure why that is. Lots of color here. And then we have this tail, which is of course lovely in magenta. Getting some of these parts in magenta is lovely because they are not in that many sets. And you can kind of see more stickers. It's very uniform on both sides. And it stands up perfectly fine. You can do some posing, I guess, if you want, like whatever this is, weird horse sitting. So it is somewhat posable, but in all honesty, it's going to look probably at its best when it's just down like that. But to be honest, like for a $50 set initially, I was looking at this set and feeling like it wasn't worth it. But seeing how big this is, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was. But let's see if we can check out the figures here. All right, here we have our sleeping kid, basically. So as you can see, a fantastic shirt with a sleeping sloth on a branch. Perfect for pajamas. We have a really nice face print of a sleeping figure. I so wish it was in mini doll because we could use multiple different emotions. More, please, but maybe that's just me complaining. We have that cool hairstyle, which I think is from Harry Potter. Not a whole lot of detail on the back, but we do have a kind of basic look for a face on there. Just a nice little minifigure, nothing too special. But let's take a look at our hero, if we can get her up here. And I'm probably going to be bad at the names. But here you can see we have an awesome hero. And I have to say the torso printing is just insanely fantastic on these figures. Kind of hard to pick up. You get the shiny metal, you have leg printing all over, nice belt printing, just insanely great printing. I cannot complain. We have this new purple hairpiece, and I think that's the first time getting a purple bow. She has one hand gloved, which makes sense for being an archer, and a nice turquoise type cloak. Let's see our other kind of thing here, our expression, kind of just a really cool smirk. She's got a lot of eye makeup going on, which is cool, and a really detailed back torso as well, just insanely detailed in my mind. It's just really awesome. But let's take a look at some of the villains here. So this character, if you remember the name, she is Susan. She's from the Lego Movie 2. Not sure if that's actual character correlation, but whatever. As you can see, we have a wild figure that you can barely tell what's going on. They have a jump pack type thing with the pink wings, apparently a little fork for a weapon, and a crazy helmet with horn thing going on, and we'll take that off and kind of take a little bit better of a look. So you can kind of see there, it's weird, it's got holes in it, kind of, I think in the show, because I've watched it, it's supposed to be like she's got a pink flaming head, which is weird. It's just a really cool, crazy dual molded part, and it has two studs, I believe, on the sides, yep, that you can put horns or whatever you want. This is a crazy headpiece with like multiple wonky eyes. Just really cool. Just a neat, weird, crazy headpiece. You could use that just as that headpiece, which is a little crazy. But I did want to show off this new body part because basically all the minions, I believe they're called Grimmspawn, have these weird bodies. Now this one has a different print for Susan. She's actually supposed to kind of be in a full-on white dress, which they kind of skimped on by just kind of adding some white to the print, which is unfortunate. I would have preferred like a different mold with a whole white dress. So each of these hands, basically you can have a bar accessory underneath their shoulders, kind of. It's something. It's better than the micro dolls for mini dolls and what they can hold. You have that standard head for your minifigures, and it just sits on one stud. And they are universally sided besides the prints, so they're completely the same all the way around. But just a cool little monster type build that they have. And here's the big bad of this set line. This is the Nightmare King, I believe. And again, you have that eye concept, which is super evil looking. Incredible torso and leg printing. Fantastic printing. That face looks so gnarled and evil. Most of the sets come with this time kind of little print here. And a lot of the heroes, and I just put on the villain for fun, come with this iron time hourglass type thing. One thing I don't like about that, does have a stud and anti-stud on the bottom. I don't like that, if you can see kind of this part here, you can't put in their hand, which is how you would normally hold it. This character also has this sweet sword with one side having a stud on it, and see it has that eye there. It's just a wonderful, cool looking, colorful type sword part, even though it looks so evil. This character has so much going on for it, and I love it. So just here you can see that the head, it even has some detail on the side. That like helmet type, I don't even know how to explain it, helmet, hood, combo, crown, something or other. Lovely. I love how it looks. You can see the back, nothing too special, just more detail. And he does have like a thing wrapped around his head. He has an alternate face where it's just more wrapped up, which isn't as cool. But here's the highlight, this cloak. You can just see like dragons or monsters coming off of it. This is actually like the soft kind of rubber, so it has flex to it, and it just fits around the neck. And it's so detailed, so awesome. I just love it. I mean, they could have done cloth, but I think this being able to be stiff and kind of like more floating in the air just makes it look so much cooler. This is such a cool looking character. Normally I'm not a fan of villains, but they just are so awesome. But let's check that back print, which is going to be mostly covered up. And again, super evil looking, super well detailed, just overall very nice printing on it. So I believe I've gone through everything here. What do I think about this set? Well, as you can see, you get a big horse, you get a small little bird, you get lots of little things. You also, for the butterfly build, get more of that clear part. I think this set is one of the better sets. It actually took me a while to build, and that's fine, but I found it more enjoyable because there were some interesting techniques to build, and it might be a little bit more complex on getting certain angles. The horse, basically, once I had it built up, it's far bigger than I thought it was going to be. If you take your average kind of minifigure, you can kind of see how big it is, and I really like that you get so many little parts to it. I think it's just so cute. I love the color theming. It reminds me of Organa from Lego Elves. The things look evil. I'm actually a little scared about if I would see these in real life just flying around or something. And then the fact that this is a throne and it connects onto the back of the Pegasus to make it look like it has Pegasus wings. And they can kind of have different flexibility that you can pose them and stuff. And there's so many prints, and the stickers aren't too bad either. This is probably if you're going to get a bad guy set without spending too much money, or just a Dreamzzz set in general, I think this is the perfect kind of smaller priced one. The really low priced ones are probably also good too, but I really like this one. I was hesitant because at the $50 mark, it didn't feel too good. You don't necessarily get a lot of figures, but I think the build is nice and is substantial, has some big and unique parts. Overall, I really like this set. I can't complain about anything. It has nice parts. It looks great. The build is actually enjoyable. It's colorful in its own way. The figures are fantastically printed. You get that silly sloth. So overall, I have no complaints about this set. It's a lovely set. I highly suggest getting it if this is going to be your Dreamzzz bad guy type set, or if you're a fan of elves, because this kind of fits that MO. Even though that horse is bigger than most of the elf stuff, it still kind of fits in with that. So this is a really cool set. I can say it 5,422 times. But let's wrap up this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'm excited to get more into the Dreamzzz sets, and hopefully you'll check out some more of my videos. Thanks for watching.